Hi, I'm Jess.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And this is Rediscover, a conversation where we travel through everything that makes up the essence of who we are and how to live authentically and imaginatively.
Here, we invite you to join us as we explore and discuss a little bit of, well, everything.
From Disney to cultivating your most authentic life to deepening your relationships and talking about the real stuff.
We hope you'll find this a space that speaks to you, encourages you, and brings a little bit of magic into your day.
Hi there, I'm Jess.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And welcome back to this week's episode of Rediscover. This week, we have a very magical episode where we will be discussing all of our favorite Christmas traditions.
When we were thinking about how we wanted to compress all of the magic of Christmas into one episode, we thought we would take you on a journey. We are going to begin at midnight on Halloween and take you through Christmas Day.
Let's get started. We are going to start on midnight of October 31st, also known as Halloween, and turning into November 1st. Right at that moment, both of us love this tradition of turning on Christmas music, particularly
Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yes, it really kicks off the season.
Oh, do you like the extra festive edition?
Oh, I love all the editions.
Of course.
Of course. Christmas music, I am fine with listening to it pretty much any time of the year, but particularly through November. I think that having Christmas only for 3 weeks or a month, between Thanksgiving and Christmas is not enough. And you can start listening to the music while simultaneously celebrating Thanksgiving at the end of November.
Yes.
But you just need extra time to get in the spirit. So
I agree. I think being around Disney culture for as long as we were so used to Halloween starting in August and Christmas starting the day after Halloween. And we kind of just grew to feel like that was kind of the best way to go. Because like Jess said, 3 weeks is just not enough time.
I mean, if you can celebrate longer, why not? My favorite Christmas albums.
Ooh.
It's a very good question. I think Michael Bublé is definitely up there for a favorite.
I love all of the 1940s Christmas music. I love all the Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, Bing Crosby, but I kind of love that old record style Christmas music. It just feels cozy to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also worth mentioning is the Charlie Brown Christmas album, the Oh Christmas Tree version, and all the beautiful piano music. That definitely gets me in the spirit.
The Vince Guaraldi Trio.
Yes. Just all of the classics.
Some Kenny G by the fire.
And you can always go the more pop route with Ariana Grande, Santa Tell Me.
Don't tell me you don't love that song.
Love it. Kelly Clarkson, Underneath the Tree is such a great song. Taylor Swift came out with a song last year called Christmas Tree Farm.
Oh, I like the Jonas Brothers one.
And Like It's Christmas by the Jonas Brothers.
Ooh, I thought of one. Leslie Odom Jr., who is the original Aaron Burr in Hamilton. He does a cover of a winter song that is like butter. It is gorgeous. It makes me cry.
And John Legend's Christmas album is really good too.
Yeah, it's true.
So the really great thing about Christmas music is you can really go from back in the older days, like you were talking about, and also modern days, like all of these popular artists of the now. It really all encompasses into this genre of Christmas. Seriously, we could go into a rabbit hole of Christmas music, but
kind of did.
Those are some of our favorites on the fly for you.
Between Halloween and Thanksgiving, we do notice that a lot of stores really go all out in getting people into the Christmas spirit, and they start pretty early too.
I think the stores off the top of my head that get me the most in the Christmas spirit are number one, craft stores such as Michael's or Joann's, because those stores have large Christmas sections far before Christmas season really even starts. Being able to go there, see all the decorations, start brainstorming how you want to start decorating your house, go to the tree section and the twinkly lights. That's always really fun. On Halloween in 2018, my friend Taylor and I just ignored Halloween and pretended it was Christmas and went to craft stores and were able to have a full Christmas experience on October 31st. So just a pro tip.
My dad actually does that, like on Halloween, as he's passing out candy, he's decorating his house for Christmas, and he has Christmas movies on the whole entire time. He's just like, this is arbitrary.
I love it. And then another main store that I always think of is Target, for sure. When they get that whole special seasonal back section all decorated for Christmas with all the decor and the trees and the lights, it is magical.
Pro tip, go to Target on November 1st because you can get super discounted Halloween candy and Christmas stuff all at the same time. Something that helps me to get into the Christmas spirit, again, beginning right on November 1st, is making my entire house smell like Christmas. And until you get those cookies in the oven, the best way to make your home smell like Christmas is by burning candles or diffusing oils. Jess, do you have a favorite holiday candle?
Whatever the evergreen pine tree candle scent is, that is definitely my favorite.
Oh gosh, I love so many. I love anything that smells like gingerbread, those like warm spice smells, but I also love diffusing essential oil blends. A lot of the ones that I like for the fall kind of carry into Christmas time. I love all those clove, nutmeg, cinnamon, and orange smells. But Young Living also has a blend called Christmas Spirit that literally smells like Christmas magic and cookies and joy. They also have an oil called Joy, and they have a pine one as well. It's so fun to make your home smell all cozy and Christmassy.
Moving on to the end of November is the pre-Christmas holiday, Thanksgiving.
I love Thanksgiving. Here's why I love Thanksgiving. I feel like I have to defend my position on loving Thanksgiving. It's autumn still, but also everyone's kind of in the Christmas mood. And it's just a simple holiday. Like, it's very food and family centric, which I love. There's just a football game and lots of food for everyone. And it seems a little more low key to me, I guess. So that's why I love it. But my favorite tradition that I don't think will be happening this year, but it's okay because we can rewatch ones from years previous. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is my favorite way to kick off Thanksgiving and the holiday season.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is a lot of fun. I tend to ignore the historical aspect and just enjoy the food itself.
I should also disclaimer, I guess the way my family's always redirected the focus of that holiday is by focusing on like gratitude, what we're thankful for. We're thankful to be together and we're thankful for the blessings that we have, and we just kind of focus on that. And a day spent in gratitude is a good day. So
you guys know how much we love practicing gratitude over here, so it's great to have a holiday to focus on it a little bit extra. Thanks is right in the name, after all. Right after Thanksgiving, the next morning, there is Black Friday. So if you have energy after eating all of the turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and pie, that can be your following day activity to kick off this season.
We have done some Black Friday shopping together in the past.
Probably not this year, though.
It'll be online shopping. Thank you, Amazon.
Cyber Monday.
True. And speaking of the Macy's Parade in New York City, being that both of us grew up in Western New York, it's not too far for us to get to the city, and New York City at Christmas time is the best.
I will miss the normalcy of that, particularly this year, but in efforts to stop the spread, I think it probably will be better in the light version.
Lite.
Lite. But usually things that we really look forward to going to New York City during Christmas time are the lights on Saks Fifth Avenue. They have light displays that are themed each year. And last year was Frozen 2 themed, which was so magical for us because obviously Disney lovers, Frozen 2 lovers. It was so cool to hear all of the new soundtrack that you're obviously so obsessed with post-movie release be blasted on the speakers in New York City and with twinkling lights at nighttime. It's just really a memory that I'm really thankful to have.
Really, New York City is just covered in lights and magic. The more traditional ones would be the tree at Rockefeller Center. Obviously, Macy's is like top to bottom decked out in Christmas cheer. And I feel like a little lesser known, but super magical place to go during the holidays in New York City is Bryant Park. Most people think of Central Park when they go to New York, but Bryant Park is so special. They decorate it. There's an ice rink. You can get hot chocolate. The cookie dough place, Dough,
Yes.
has a little stand there, and they do seasonal cookie dough flavors. It's kind of like an ice cream shop where you can get like a scoop of cookie dough. They'll do like candy cane things and gingerbread, like all sorts of fun Christmas flavors.
Bryant Park is so magical, and that was actually one of the places of one of Steven and my first dates. So whether you're going there with a significant other, on a date, with family, there's something for everyone there. We also walked over to the Plaza Hotel at the time, and that was decked out in decorations, and it was so elegant. It was so beautiful. So if you're ever in New York when everything is fully operational, the Plaza is a great place to see Christmas decorations in New York, even if you just go in the lobby.
I feel like this episode is turning into we're going to plan your New York City Christmas time 2021 trip. So you're welcome.
Look forward to it.
Transitioning from Thanksgiving into the holiday season means we still need to talk about food. And there are so many seasonal snacks and treats that we love to enjoy around the holidays. Jess, what are some of your favorites?
I get really excited because you notice a significant difference in the grocery stores when they start putting out the Christmas snacks. So things that I always look forward to are seeing the Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes in the snack aisle. I know they're not the healthiest, but they're definitely nostalgic, as well as the cranberry English muffins in the bread aisle. Those I used to toast with peanut butter and marmalade, and it is so good. It's like orange cranberry.
Okay, yum.
Yeah.
I love all things chocolate. So my, I think, favorite thing to enjoy around the holidays is just a warm mug of hot cocoa.
I have a question. Do
Yeah.
you have a hot cocoa recipe?
So I think a lot of the hot cocoa mixes have too much sugar in them, and they usually use like milk chocolate, or they're not chocolatey enough. I'm a dark chocolate person, so I will buy cocoa powder and then sweeten it a little myself, like add my own raw sugar to it. And then because I tend to do alternative milks, you can use regular milk for this too, but I'll heat up like oat milk or almond milk, and then I'll add a couple of tablespoons of that mixture and stir it up, let it hang out. And then always mini marshmallows, always. And sometimes if I have a candy cane, I'll kind of stir it with the candy cane, so you just get like a little hint of peppermint in there. But if I'm going somewhere else to get a holiday beverage, all of the Starbucks holiday beverages are killer, but the peppermint mocha is my favorite like treat one. And then if I'm just getting a coffee and I kind of want a little bit of a Christmassy kick, I love their gingerbread latte, which they don't always have every year, but I hope they bring it back this year because it is so good.
Delicious. I knew that would be a great question to ask you. So we're moving on in the season. It's time to start preparing for the big day, and that means baking cookies. So
Do you notice a trend? Food.
More food.
Jess, what are some Christmas cookies that you like? It wouldn't be Christmas if you didn't have these every year.
I have 3 staple cookies every year at Christmas time. Of course, number 1, no one will be surprised by this, but I am so passionate about the Pillsbury holiday cookies with the little snowmen or the reindeer or the Christmas trees on them. Also, I've noticed that there are elf versions this year. There's the little green hat that Buddy the Elf wears.
That's cute.
It's really cute.
Petition Pillsbury to make an Arctic puffin one. No, Arctic puffin.
We just need a whole elf series, actually. Second are the peanut butter blossom cookies, which are peanut butter cookies with Hershey Kisses pressed on top. We always hand make them at home, and they are just such a classic holiday cookie to me. And then third, of course, Christmas cutout cookies. So finding a really great sugar cookie recipe. When I was growing up, we had a recipe where you refrigerate the dough overnight, which is the most impatient part of the process.
Yes.
But the next day you get them out, you roll them out, you use all your cookie cutters that you've been saving all year, and then you get to decorate them, which is so fun. Sometimes we'd have cookie decorating contests or just have a little family party, whether you have frosting or sprinkles. It's such a creative Christmas activity.
When we were compiling the list of nostalgic family Christmas cookie traditions, I noticed that most of mine were rooted in my family's ethnic background, I guess, in our kind of cultural traditions. So My dad's family is 100% Sicilian, and we grew up with two very distinctly Italian Christmas cookies that we only make at Christmas time. So the first are pizzelles, which if you haven't heard of pizzelles, they almost look like a very thin waffle, and they have anise in them, which is a very polarizing thing because anise is kind of that black licorice-y flavor. You either love it or you hate it. I love it. They cook so quickly because you make them in this very special waffle iron. So you don't bake them in the oven at all, and they take like a few minutes each because they're so thin, and they're just so good. And you can like spread Nutella on them if you want to. You can put sprinkles in them if you want them to kind of look like red and green stained glass when they come out. So it's just really fun to play with. Another one are cucciolati, which are more popular. A lot of people know them as those like Fig Newton looking cookies that have the icing and the rainbow kind of nonpareil sprinkles on the top. Then my mom's side of the family is Scandinavian, specifically Swedish. So we make peppercaker cookies, which I think are technically Norwegian, but they're basically this spiced cookie that kind of has all the spices of chai tea. They have like cinnamon, a little black pepper and cardamom and things like that. And they're very like crispy and almost shortbread-like. And we use cutout cookie cutters to make different shapes, and then you dunk them in tea. And my personal favorite childhood cookie, I don't know if this is the technical term, but this is what we called them. We called them church window cookies because you use those mini marshmallows that are all the different colors. You make this like log of cookie dough, and it's surrounded in chocolate, and you can roll it in coconut or sprinkles. And then when you slice them, you don't have to bake them at all. They're no-bake cookies. When you slice them, it looks like stained glass windows. And it's literally like marshmallows and chocolate and sprinkles and coconut. Like, what is not to love? And it wouldn't be Christmas without gingerbread. So whether you go to a craft store or your grocery store and pick up a gingerbread house decorating kit, or you make them from scratch, that is such a fun activity too. When I was little, my mom used to make the gingerbread from scratch, and she would make these tiny little gingerbread houses that we would turn into Christmas ornaments. Now life is busier, and we kind of stick to the larger decorative gingerbread house.
So after you make all your cookies, it's time to do some more Christmas themed activities. So one of my favorite Christmas activities is to drive and go see Christmas lights. So I don't know if you guys have this where you live, but I've seen this in quite a few different cities where there will be either a neighborhood or there will be a park or something along those lines, and everything is just decorated with Christmas lights. Definitely bring your hot cocoa, have it in the car with you. You can just drive through and see all the dancing lights. Sometimes these places even have music that you can sync up to your car and listen to it. The first time I ever went to go see one of these places, my parents surprised us, and I think I was 7 or 8 or something, and I had no idea it existed. So it definitely strikes such a chord for me because it's just the most magical thing ever. And again, a great family activity, a great date night, a great get in the Christmas spirit activity.
I even used to do that by myself.
A great independent venture.
Independent woman activity. I would go to Starbucks and get a peppermint mocha and then drive around and look at the Christmas lights. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of hot cocoa conversations happening here. And because Jess and I grew up somewhere where we get lots and lots of snow all winter long, the most magical time of the year to experience snow is at Christmas time. So we grew up doing a lot of fun snow activities. A lot of people go ice skating. We're fortunate to live somewhere where there are outdoor skating rinks, and they're often decorated at Christmas time.
Not that I can skate or anything, but
okay. Well, whether or not you can use the little helpers.
I'll drink hot cocoa.
You can hold Steven's hand.
He can't skate either.
I'll hold your hand.
Thank you.
I used to be really good at it as a kid because we used to go to skating lessons every week when I was younger. So there would be these outdoor rinks, and they have hot cocoa there, and there's like an outdoor fireplace if you are cold and you want to go warm up, and it's like very Hallmark-ish. A little too much so. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Every time I drive by.
It's like painfully cute.
It's painfully cute. We used to do these epic snowmen when I was a kid. Like all 3 of us would go outside and my stepdad would come out with us and we would build snowmen as tall as he is. And he's like 6'2", and making snow angels and things like that.
And then, of course, you can go tubing, sledding, snowboarding, skiing. I'm pretty much only good at tubing because anything athletic is not quite up my alley. Another thing that I really love to do around the Christmas season is write Christmas cards. It depends on the year, but sometimes I get very motivated and I love writing out a whole letter inside, printing out pictures from the year and sending them out to friends. And it's just so fun to bring them to the post office and use your Christmas stamp and send a smile to your friends that you can't see all the time. So it's a great way to reconnect right around the turn of the year.
I think that's a great thing to do this year too, because this year, obviously, a lot of us won't be able to see each other on the holidays. And I think that's better than a present. It's a great way to like really personalize your connection with someone and let them know you're thinking of them, and then they can keep it. And I know I always hang up all the Christmas cards that I get every year.
And it's great to support the post office as well.
Yes. Buy Christmas stamps.
All of these activities are a great way to kick yourself into gear for the big day. I feel like Christmas is almost a 2-day holiday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
Well, it's really a 2-month holiday, but then like the actual Christmas is a 2-day holiday because Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are both so wonderful. So I think we just wanted to talk a little bit about what we did on the days themselves as children and as adults too. So for me, Christmas Eve was always my favorite day of the entire year growing up. The 4 of us in my family would go over to my Nana's house and spend the day with my Nana, my cousins, my uncles, etc. We would have a huge feast. Nana loves to cook her Christmas feast, and we'd have things like turkey and ham, mashed potatoes, corn, peas. We'd always get like a loaf of Italian bread, all those classic comfort foods. She would make Christmas punch, which was like iconic for us. I basically think it was something along the lines of a Hawaiian punch, like the red punch, and she'd put rainbow sherbet in it, which was like, as a kid, that was the best.
That's such a Nana thing.
Yes, and some Sprite too, so it was a little fizzy for us kids, you know. She had the Christmas tree in her living room. She loves Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, so she had a little like glass blown Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs ornament set that was really beautiful. Aww. Yeah, we would open presents around the tree, and when we were really little, Santa would sometimes appear, which was really exciting. We'd hear him outside and he'd come in and bring us a little extra present. So
okay. Well, that's amazing.
I know he's very busy, but I'm really thankful he made time for us.
It's because he was there for the punch.
I mean, that punch was really good. So.
I agree that I think of the two, Christmas Eve is my favorite. I grew up kind of splitting the day between my dad and my mom, but the evening time of Christmas Eve was my favorite part because we did a tapas-style Christmas Eve dinner. We would actually make Italian wedding soup as kind of like the focal point of the meal, and then we would make all of these different appetizers. We would do like a seafood platter, we would make baked brie, we would do like charcuterie and things like that, just all sorts of like nibbly foods, so we could kind of hang out, watch Christmas movies, eat a little, talk, and it felt very casual, but it was like still a total feast because there was just so much. Because my sister is so much younger than me and my older brother, we have about a 6 to 9 year age gap between the two of us and Sarah. Something that my brother and I did when we were little that we carried on the tradition of with her when she was little was we would make reindeer dust, and after dinner on Christmas Eve, before we read the night before Christmas, hang our stockings up, put the cookies and milk out for Santa and the carrots out for the reindeer, and go to bed. Before any of that could happen, we had to go outside and sprinkle the reindeer dust so that the reindeer could find our house. And basically what reindeer dust is, if you want to do this with your kids, I highly recommend. It's super, super magical. You just take some oats, just like Quaker oats, rolled oats, whatever, and you get some craft glitter that's loose glitter, not glitter glue, and you put it all in like a Ziploc baggie and just like shake it up so the glitter mixes in with all the oats. And then you go outside, and because we live somewhere where it was usually snowy on Christmas Eve, when you sprinkle the reindeer dust all around, it glistens on the snow. So we would bundle her up and take her outside and sprinkle the reindeer dust so that Santa was 100% guaranteed to find our house. And then we'd go inside and put on our matching Christmas pajamas, because we're those people, and get ready for bed.
Christmas Day was always really fun as kids. We would leave out cookies for Santa and milk, of course, the classic tradition. In the mornings, we would wake up and we would open presents from Santa when we were younger, as well as our stockings. And then we actually would open like our family Christmas presents, though, on New Year's Eve because we wanted to really drag out the season.
Really?
Yeah, we just didn't want it to be over. And I think I just have problems with, letting it go. Christmas Day itself, we used to go to my grandma's house in Canada and again have a feast, again open presents. We would do Secret Santa sometimes as well, which is always fun, picking a name and then getting a gift for that one specific person instead of, getting gifts for everyone all at the same time. Secret Santa is just a really fun thing to do, whether it's with family or you can do it with a friend group too. I've done that as well. Yeah. Another way you can do that sort of game for presents is a white elephant party. You just bring a wrapped gift and then pick numbers and unwrap it, and you can swap or hold on to your gift.
Yeah, I think that's a really great idea for like work parties or parties with like colleagues. You might not know what to get someone, but you know that you want to get something. So that way everyone can make sure that they're all contributing. But I think also a great way to participate in that sort of scenario is a cookie exchange. Ooh. So everyone makes like their family's favorite traditional Christmas cookie or whatever. And then you all have a party where you kind of do the same idea, but you exchange cookies. So everyone just ends up going home with somebody else's favorite Christmas cookie. So it's a really good way to learn about other people's Christmas traditions, and no one's going to be mad about going home with cookies. So for me on Christmas Day, we would all wake up. Our parents would go downstairs first to kind of turn on all the Christmas lights and make it all look super magical so that when my mom was videotaping our descent from the staircase, it was like a perfect home movie. And so we would come downstairs and we would usually take turns opening our gifts from Santa. It would usually start with like the youngest child or the oldest child. Either way, I went second, so it was what it was. And then once we were done with that, we would have Christmas brunch, which was always homemade cinnamon rolls that we would make the dough for the night before. And there would always be like a bunch of fresh fruit. We would make sort of like a Christmas punch for breakfast. As we got older, it became mimosas. But when we were younger, it was some combination of sparkling grape juice and cranberry juice. Then after breakfast, we would open our family gifts. And then the rest of the day, we would usually go with our dad or kind of see how the day went. As an adult, kind of taking those family Christmas traditions and adapting them. Obviously, Jess and I working for Disney for most of our adult life now. You work on holidays. That's just how it is. Disney is, except for in 2020, open 365 days a year. So we've worked many Christmas Eves and Christmas days. And honestly, as much as there were some sad moments in there, I really kind of found ways to get creative and make my own Christmas magic with the people around me. There was one year I went to a midnight service at Mosaic, my church, and they had like candles for everyone, and it was like at midnight. It was by far and away the best Christmas service I've been to. I also remember one year where I was working on Christmas Eve in New Fantasyland in a particular library, and Santa showed up. He came to the library to see Belle and all her friends and all the enchanted objects, and we were shocked and floored and amazed, and
Santa,
it was incredible. We all got to take pictures with Santa, and it was on Christmas Eve. It was like late at night on Christmas Eve. Just reminded all of us that Christmas really isn't about where you are. It's about who you're with, and it's about the spirit inside you. So definitely found creative ways to keep that alive even when we were away from our families and even when we were working.
Yeah, working on Christmas is definitely an interesting part of growing into an adult. And although the parks are quite insane on Christmas, I would really find ways before and after work to keep some sort of Christmas tradition alive. Like last year, I woke up early and my roommate and I cooked breakfast together. We made French toast and we watched Christmas movies until we had to go into work. And other years I worked all day and then got home and exchanged gifts with friends after work, just to round out the night. There are ways to incorporate it still. And the really cool part about being at Disney on Christmas was that everyone is so cheery. Everyone talks to each other like, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. It's so fun because, yeah, you always say hi to people at Disney in the normal times of the year, but on Christmas Day, there's this elevated excitement. You really do connect with people more. You make eye contact with more people. Like, they're not just keeping their eyes down or looking straight forward. Like, everyone is coming together. So
I mean, I had multiple occasions where guests would, say things like, thank you for working on Christmas. They took a moment to appreciate that because we were doing what we were doing, they were able to be with their family. You don't know what these people have walked through for their entire year leading up to that point. And then the fact that they took a moment to acknowledge that was really, really gratifying. But speaking of Christmas movies, Jess, I don't think we could do this episode without talking about one of the best parts of the Christmas season, which is curling up with that mug of hot cocoa and watching a Christmas movie.
I think when it comes to top favorite Christmas movies, my number one is always going to be Elf, just because it is the most Christmas spirit-filled movie of all time. You can't beat a movie with Zooey Deschanel in it.
True.
And Will Ferrell. And it's just so quotable. Like, bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. My one friend, Taylor, was my roommate at one point, and she's Christmas obsessed, and we would find ourselves watching it in July. So
if you haven't seen her Etsy shop, it's at Gingerbread Couture. She loves Christmas more than anything.
Her packaging is always Christmas all year round. So for face masks, it's pretty great. Check it out. But other classic favorites for me are actually like those shorts. So Rudolph the claymation version. I think it's just really magical because it's one of those ones that they used to play on TV every year. Yeah, it's super nostalgic. And I love Frosty Returns actually more than the regular Frosty the Snowman one, because that's when they're trying to melt the snow and take Christmas away. And it's sad. And then also Charlie Brown Christmas, like I mentioned in the music section. That one might be up there with Elf as favorite, because you cannot beat a Charlie Brown special at the holidays.
True. I love those claymation movies too. I think those were probably our first Christmas movies as kids. So The Year Without a Santa Claus is one that I really, really love. Like The Heat Miser and The Snow Miser. But my favorite Christmas movie of all time is White Christmas. I love White Christmas. I love the story. I love Rosemary Clooney. I love Danny Kaye. I think it's fun and it's lighthearted, and there's so much dancing and music and color, and it's just lovely. Other than that, I think the Polar Express movie, it was the first Christmas movie I remember seeing where I really got like a full view of what the North Pole must look like. You know what I mean? Like, it's a town. Like, they're going around all those little cobblestone streets and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. Like, it's a village. People live here, of course. And it just kind of brought to life that idea for me. And I loved it for that reason. Definitely, aside from those two, my favorite Christmas movie is The Grinch, the live action with Jim Carrey, of course. I just think when you're talking about quotable Christmas movies, that one is just hilarious. Sometimes when I'm deleting emails, I just go through them and go, jury duty, blackmail, eviction notice.
And of course, there are Disney Christmas specials. My favorites are Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas.
What was your favorite little segment?
I love the one where Max brings home his girlfriend, and Goofy's just, being goofy, and he sings the little song.
That one makes me cry.
This whole movie, if you haven't seen it, is broken up into almost mini cartoons within, and each one has its own theme and stars different characters. And then secondly, Olaf's Frozen Adventure is probably the best Christmas Disney special that I can think of. They did a great job. The soundtrack itself is like having a soundtrack for a whole nother movie. Ring in the Season and When We're Together are such phenomenal songs.
The Ballad of Flemongrass.
That's a great song. And it really is only about 28-30 minutes. And beautiful costumes, beautiful scenery, and obviously Arendelle in a snowy scene is gorgeous.
The Frozen creators have just continually stepped it up, and there is just no limit to what they can do with these characters. But we cannot wrap up this episode without an honorable mention. And this is a very niche-specific piece of media content that you need to consume.
Absolutely. This is one that I was like, we need to include this in the episode, because if you have not seen this, you need to look it up. I'm putting it in the show notes for you, and you're going to love it. So it is the 2013 Disney Christmas Day Parade, starring Neil Patrick Harris.
We need to preface this by saying that the Disney Christmas Day Parade on ABC is one of our favorite holiday traditions. It plays every Christmas Day. It is filmed in Walt Disney World, usually earlier in the season. a lot of cast members get to take part in the filming or performing, but this year specifically is something notable.
In 2013, they went all in for a full-out production with Neil Patrick Harris as the star, of course. He is a super huge Disney fan, if you guys did not know. They created a song called Are You Ready for Christmas? And it is a full show-stopping number where it starts with Neil Patrick Harris talking to Walt Disney, saying how much he wants to do a good job and not let him down. And he bursts into song, and there's cast members from all different lines of business. There's guest relations cast members, custodial cast members,
ice cream cart cast members,
princesses, villains. And then as he walks down Main Street, the dancing and the show production just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The Newsies make an appearance. Darth Vader makes an appearance. The song is so catchy. It gets me hyped. There's even a beautiful key change at the end with fireworks, and it is Broadway style production.
It's like Macy's Day Parade on steroids, plus Disney magic with pixie dust sprinkled all over the whole thing. It is truly what you need to consume to start your holiday season off right. You just can't help but smile.
Honestly, anytime you need a little Christmas pick-me-up, that's the thing to watch for sure. Again, we'll link it in the show notes. Check it out. Thank you, Neil Patrick Harris and Walt Disney World, for creating such a true treasure.
All right, we've got movies, snacks, cookies, snow activities, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, everything you need to know and do from midnight on Halloween until the end of the Christmas season. I feel like we've got it all.
I hope your Christmas season is kicking off to a great start. I hope you're listening to your Christmas music by now and getting in the spirit. And we are going to wish you the most magical Christmas. We all deserve extra magic this year. Great job making it through. I hope that even if you have to alter your traditions a little bit this year, that they still bring you the joy, because remember, all of that magic and joy comes from within you, no matter what you're doing.
I think it's important to remember, especially this year, even though Christmas is a holiday that kind of is noisy sometimes, there's just a lot going on, and you want to make sure that you're doing enough and giving enough and being present in all these places. And maybe this year is a good year to slow down and remember the true spirit of Christmas it's a really humble holiday at its core, and it's about family and tradition and friends and love and hope, and we can have all of those things even this year. And all of these traditions are things that you can do with the people that are close to you that you've been seeing regularly, and they're things that you can do at home.
So stay safe, have a wonderful holiday season, and we will talk to you next week.
We wish you a very Merry Christmas time.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Rediscover.
Please subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening. Your reviews are what keep us going, and we'd love to hear from you.
Join us every Tuesday for a new conversation, and let us know what you think we should talk about next.
Follow us on Instagram at positively.kristen and at jessicafay508. And check out Jess's blog at theroadjesstraveled with 1l.com.
Until next time,
stay frumpy.